We are going to go ahead and get started. We do have John McLean with us today, and he is taking the place of Dave Marunk as far as our BWC rep. So John, would you like to take it away with a few announcements?
Yeah, I just have two quick ones. The specialty safety grants have opened back up. The administrator announced that at Congress, and private employers in the state fund are going to get a 7.1% reduction in the premiums beginning July 1. That's all I have.
All right. Thanks, John. Does anybody have any questions for John or BWC related questions? Okay, we're keeping it simple today. All right, well, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. We have Tony DeAscentis. I'm sorry, Tony. I hope I was close.
That's close enough. Yeah.
Okay. Tony is the CEO and founder of VING, and today he is here to present to us with a special presentation on job site safety. So Tony, I will let you take it away and add any other details you would like to before we kick off your presentation.
Sure. Before we go any further, though, I would like to jump in by apologizing, Sarah, because I jumped in right at 11:30, which I thought was our prep session. Usually there's like this 5 to 10 minute buffer, and I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, poor Sarah must have been like freaking, like, where's the speaker today? Anyhow, we're here. I'm here.
Don't worry. I only start to worry if it's like 11:30 and I haven't you.
Well, I appreciate your patience on this. So first off, I want to say, hope a lot of people on the line got to attend some of the virtual sessions from the Ohio Safety Congress last week. It was really a fantastic event, very well attended. If you missed some of those events, hopefully they'll still be offering them on demand. I'm not sure exactly what their follow-up is, but I do know that they had a lot of attendance. I know the one session that I did was attended by almost 1,000 people. 974 people dialed in to be part of a virtual technology discussion around emerging tech. So that was really fun. So today's discussion is more of a candid discussion between myself and Mike Holmes Jr. of HGTV. Now, some of you may know the Holmes on Holmes families shows. They're a global brand with productions going on in, I think, 68 different countries around the globe. They're a partner of ours, and they've really come to like the VING technology and the VING product, so much so that they've integrated it throughout their business and some of their customers. But on top, on top of the TV production side of things and the HGTV side of things, the Holmes Group has a construction company, a real live working construction company, in which they do a lot of home inspections for pre-construction, job site safety inspections, quality assurance projects, and things like that. They have a whole methodology that they use on a Holmes approved home. And so they're very much more, they're very active in the job and out in the field. So when I asked Michael, I said, hey, how about we do just a candid discussion on job site safety? He was all about it. He's got tons of experience in working with his dad and his sister in this particular area. So today's discussion is really a candid one, where the common theme is kind of keeping the importance of safety top of mind all the time on the job site. We think of this as like doing training all the time or observing all the time. And these are very, very important things to do to help keep the right skills current and accessible for recall from our brain power. But we also want to touch base on a variety of other things during this topic today. So we're going to talk about the use of technology, the use of storytelling, the use of images to show people, kind of right way, wrong way stuff, the importance of location-based training, and then kind of just touch on, how this all overlays. You're working with a decentralized team out there, whether they're on the manufacturing floor, whether they're servicing parts or customers, or working at a particular construction site. You have people all over the place. And then on top of that, we have new workers. So we're going to cover a lot of ground. Your job today is to connect with hopefully one to many points that we talk about, where you can just use it as a springboard for an idea for you to take action in a key area that we've discussed, and maybe think about the way that you're using storytelling or technology or some subject matter experts that you have access to help keep safety top of mind all the time at a job site. So as you hear us talk about different things today, just jot down on a sheet of paper a quick note or two to yourself. How might I use this technique on the fly at a particular job site, or as I'm walking through the factory, or I end up talking to a group of people to just get them to recall some job site safety tips. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we'll get the conversation started.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Holmes Jr. And for those of you who don't know me, I've been working for my dad for too many years now, but on the shows like Holmes on Holmes, Holmes Makes It Right, Holmes Inspections. If you've seen any of those shows, you've probably seen me working in the background. Thanks for joining us today. Today I'll be talking with Tony DeAscentis.
Hi, my name is Tony DeAscentis, and I'm CEO and co-founder of a technology company called VING. We specialize in modern microburst training.
1 second here. I think I have a flaw going on, and I want to get it corrected before it's all confusing.
For your safety, quality, and standard operating procedure needs while folks are out on the job site getting the job done. Thanks, Michael. Glad to be here with you today to talk about safety on the job site. It's really our passion around here, and that's why we got into this business. About 8 years ago, my partner and co-founder, Stephanie Hunter, and I really kind of zeroed in on this problem that so many people have with working with the decentralized workforce, those folks out in the field with the mud on their boots, getting the job done every day. And harm's way, right? So it's about getting them the right information at the right time to keep them safe on the job.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been on the job site and I've seen some terrible things happen to people. I was on the job site once, and I'll never forget this. This was early on in my construction career, and a plumber had come to turn the water, or try and fix the water main. And what happened is it had frozen. So he had taken a look over the water main, and just as he did that, a piece of ice shot out and he lost his eye. So it was, just giving people a little bit more information on safety, on the do's and don'ts of the job site is so important.
It's critical, and in a situation like that, obviously it's a nanosecond, right? And this is probably an experienced person that absolutely knew the value of eye protection, but you get in, and we have deadlines to hit on project sites, and all of a sudden it's just a quick movement and bam, something goes wrong. And, so many times safety training is this event-based training where, you go to a class or you do something online, and then in theory, you're good to go for a period of time. Well, it only takes a second on the job site to let your guard down and something can go wrong. So what I'd like to do is show a quick video that explains the VING platform at a very high level.
Your employees need accurate information to deliver quality work efficiently and without injury. How good are you at sharing the right information at the right time with them? Rank yourself 1 terrible, 10 awesome. Now ask, did they get, read, watch, listen, and understand? Don't like your numbers? Introducing VING, a learning experience platform that's perfect for modern-day microburst information sharing, short videos, minimal text, and relevant material. We'll help get your organization to a 10. Contact us today.
Like you said, I mean, I've done plenty of different courses, safety courses, first aid. And so many times I think to myself, man, I wish I remembered that certain thing. Like what did they exactly say about this point in here? Because like you said, it's a full day course or whatever it might be. And you tend to not remember every single point of that safety course.
Michael, there's research that shows that when people are sitting in a room and they're going through their training, they obviously are unengaged learners at some point. Raise your hand if you're guilty, right? You daydream. You got people on the job site, they're thinking about going to have a beer with their buddies. They're thinking about getting home for a soccer game. They're thinking about all of this stuff. And research shows that your rate of forgetfulness just skyrockets at post-training event within 24 hours, 1 week, and up to 90% after 30 days. It's just crazy. So it's all about how to keep little nuggets of information. We call them microbursts, and get them in the hands of the right people at the right time for the right task at hand. Here's an example of a microburst that's going to help somebody to inspect their ladder or set up their ladder.
The next step in using ladders safely is to inspect the ladder. Look for loose or worn rungs. Check the rails for cracks or corrosion. Make sure they are straight, not bowed or dented. Look for any loose or missing hardware, such as screws, bolts, or hinges. Check the rope on extension ladders. If it's frayed or damaged, don't use it. Also, make sure the extension locks are working correctly. Check the feet of the ladder and replace any worn or damaged feet or pads. On step ladders, make sure the spreaders are in good condition and locked securely. A step ladder should not wobble on a flat surface. Replace any damaged or missing labels and tag any damaged or defective ladder. Take it out of use immediately. And never paint a wooden ladder. Paint may hide defects.
Yeah, it's a great video because so many people actually don't know the proper things to look for on a damaged ladder. And, even myself, years ago, I remember setting up a ladder to go on a roof. And it was only about a story up. It was a bungalow, lucky enough. And lucky enough, there was also a bin not too far behind the ladder, but I started climbing up. And what happened was the pads were worn out on the bottom. So there was actually no grip. And I didn't have someone holding the ladder for me, which you should also do as well. But as I got almost to the top, the ladder started sliding out from under me. And luckily, it stopped on the bin. And I didn't get hurt. But it's one of those lessons that I was very lucky to learn, not the hard way, but it was enough to scare me into making sure that I checked my ladders before I set it up to go on a roof.
Yeah, it's literally one of the number one issues people have when working at home. We hear of so many ladder injuries and working a job site. So, some of my word choice has really been focused about the job site today so far. But the reality of it is, just think about how many people run out to that garage, grab that extension ladder, put it upside, climb up it, empty the gutters of the leaves.
Yeah.
No inspection takes place at all. And, if it's an ancient wooden ladder from your grandpa's garage or whatever it is, now you've got some really serious inspection mishaps if you didn't take a quick look at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I find oftentimes that, some homeowners do tend to have those like ancient tools that they still use, whether that's a ladder or a step ladder or even a bucket that they stand on. And, that's exactly how someone gets hurt.
Absolutely.
A while back, there was someone who worked for us and his wife was trying to fix their garage door, and it actually turned into a horrific accident. There's a video of my dad talking about it here, so why don't we play that now?
Friend of mine, his wife, one of my contractors, his wife thought she could increase the tension on the door herself. And that big thing at the top that looks like it's actually the tension roll. She would put the 2 bars in herself, push it up, put in the second bar, pull this one out, push it up. All by herself, she did this. Carlito should have done it himself. What happened is when she pushed up like this, she slipped on the next one and wasn't holding this one good enough. It came down and smashed all her teeth out. It was a terrible accident, absolutely terrible. Pay attention to that. Always have a professional increase your tension or reduce it. Don't do things that we don't know.
That's such a good point. I mean, sticking to things that we know. Hire the right people for the right jobs, because I remember Carlito telling me about that, and it knocked his wife out. She lost her teeth. She was in the hospital after that. And just by trying to fix something that, you're not totally aware of how to do it.
it's oftentimes these simple, quick projects where people find themselves in trouble. And if you haven't had success or experience in doing something that looks a little foreign, like a garage door, if that, just with that spring and all of that, there's a lot going on there, right? With case in point to the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we do have a program called Holmes Approved Homes where we partner up with the best builders across North America. These are award-winning builders who build above minimum code, and they're energy efficient homes. We're really proud of what they build. And I want to know, how do you see this VING toolkit improving their process and efficiencies?
Yeah, so really there's two components to the VING platform. So there's the part that the employee sees, and then there's the part that the company or the contractor can see to manage their way through all of their training and compliance. So of course, we always start with the employee and driving engagement up, and the microburst is a mobile platform, easy to use. We always say, you know, when you're out on the job site and you're busy doing all kinds of stuff, you don't want it to take a lot of time to do the training, but you also want to take away all the barriers. So the company can benefit by increasing engagement and making it easy to engage with the training. No plugin, no sign-on, no download, no password. Just literally receive it as a text message on your phone or an email in your inbox, or even scan a QR code at the job site. And from the time that anybody, there's a good example of a job site poster. We all have seen these before. Our platform will actually produce a QR code that you can associate any type of information you want. Job site info, safety, quality, company policy stuff before you walk on the job site. Somebody scans it, and literally it brings the information right up on their phone. And maybe there's a 90-second video on the hazards of this specific job site. Now that's some good training, right?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so that anytime somebody's interacting with that information, no matter how they got it through a multi-channel delivery, on their dashboard back at the company site, in the office, or wherever they happen to be, they're getting real-time information as to who has interacted with what safety training or critical on-the-job information.
Right.
And
so people can be held accountable.
And people know that people begin to understand the team on the ground that they're getting held accountable. So they can do it because it's easy to do and get done. And that's what we want them to do. Yeah.
And in a much more manageable way.
It's a much more manageable way. And then, of course, it's like any platform, there's alerts and notifications to help people keep on track with either their training or for a safety manager or supervisor to quickly identify who's not compliant on the job site and go find them. We're talking a lot about safety and people not getting hurt, but there's also the concept of people don't want to hire you unless you have a low injury rating, right? They don't want to bring you on. I don't care how small the project is. They don't want to bring you onto their property if there's a potential of your history of having injured workers, right?
Yeah, I've worked with several people who were very accident prone or injury prone, and you tend to not want to repeat that process after, working with those people. So you have a very good point there.
Yeah. And so it's just a definite benefit for the contractor to dial in on their training program and their level of connection with their employees. We also say, as a side benefit, is that this is a great way for an employer to show how much they respect their team on the ground and how they're going to make it easy for them to interact with information and do a great job and feel good about it. And we all know that people stick with companies that they feel respected with. And boys,
100%.
Skilled tradesmen are hard to find, aren't they? So
yeah,
keep the best ones on your team.
Yeah. And you know what? Every job site's different. So the fact that you can have a QR code that is customized to your job site so that when you walk up, you scan that code and then you get a custom video that's going to let you know all of the safety hazards on a job site. I mean, that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, actually, we launched the QR code at the beginning of 2020, and it's just skyrocketed. People are putting them on ladders. They're putting them on trucks. And some of them just retrieve things like checklists. Before you drive this truck, think about, is it snowy today? Is there black ice today? Stuff like that. Just, again, it's not even a training thing. It's just think about these 5 things.
And in the trades, like you said, people they're very driven by, okay, I got to finish this job. I don't have too much time. And it's a nice reminder to get people back into thinking, okay, I've got to do this safely. I've got to get home to my family.
Yeah. You want to go home in the same shape you went to work today, right?
Exactly.
So, yep.
Now, we have some safety fail photos that some fans sent in, and I wanted to take a look at them and see what you thought.
Okay.
These are always fun. So a welder decides to use a beer bottle as sparks fly.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same as using a mask, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on already. It's just like literally, this one is a little bit extreme, right? So this wasn't like, hey, I don't have enough time to go find something. This was like, I'm using a beer bottle to do this.
Yeah, and why is that beer bottle so close by anyway? That's what I want to know.
Right. So there's 2 fouls. At least we can go down and create a big list. 1, the bottle breaks or backlash and it hits you in the face. 2, why was the beer bottle so close drinking beer and using hand tools, right?
Yeah, not a good combination.
Not a good combination. Oh, this is all. Literally, you could make a library out of these pictures, can't you, Michael? I mean,
I've seen it in person, things like this. It's unfortunate, and like I said, I've been in the trades now for something like 16 years. It's been a while, but it's amazing how many people think, you know what? I don't want to get the scaffolding. I don't want to get the proper ladder for it. Can you just do this and we'll set this up? And like you said, it's one of the number one areas on a job site where people get injured.
So we talk to a lot of people about stuff like this as well. So this is about planning, right? Because if they had a deadline or they were approaching the end of their day, people are going to do that. But if they knew what was going to be required of them before they went to a job site, or it could wait until tomorrow kind of a thing, then they could have the right equipment there to make sure they did the job safe.
Yeah, and planning is so important. It's crucial. I mean, in any career, in any job, but I'm speaking from personal experience, if you don't plan the job site out right, you're not going to get anything done. And then talk about safety issues. Planning is it's crucial to a safe and productive job site.
Mm-hmm. What do we have here now?
Oh my. It looks like
crying out loud.
Who needs a sawhorse, eh?
Yeah.
Just use his leg.
I don't even know how to comment on this one. I actually thought it was going leg already, I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I've rested a 2x4 on my foot or something, but not put the blade anywhere near my foot. This looks like he's almost cutting over his leg.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and just like when your dad was cutting that piece of plywood in that last video, and we've all seen the saw jump. I mean, literally in a nanosecond, there is going to be a gash about how long, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then you look at the glasses hanging from his collar there.
There you go. Now there's like 20 things going wrong.
Yeah, so there's power lines, a ladder. He's got a leg stabilized. That is just like that's creativity. That's very unsafe.
I like the caption. It says "accident waiting to happen." It's almost like the accident's already started.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the accident in motion, right?
Yeah. Why not move, some of that stuff on the bottom there so we can get the ladder closer up? You know what? I'll just get on the top and use my leg. Oh, wow.
What always surprises me about these two is like, who's brave enough to go on that?
I feel you, because I mean, you're already up on a roof and now you want to climb on some scaffolding that's just thrown together. I mean, that's another thing. Have a pro scaffolding company come in and do it for you, because that makes it way easier. I mean, I know I've set up enough scaffold in my life, but having a company coming in and doing it very safely, properly, where it's going to actually also not hurt the house is very important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I think one important thing to think about, when it comes to safety training and training in general, is bringing on new apprentices or interns. So how do you train those?
Yeah, this is a hot topic. We have an aging workforce that stayed in the workforce the longest in history ever, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to see a lot of these folks start to retire. And we have to be thinking ahead about bringing a younger generation in. And I know you and I both agree on this, is that, this is a great path for a lot of people. Not only can you make a great living at it, but you can be extremely proud of finished products and really have an awesome career. And so I feel passionate about employers and being an employer who hires a lot of young people right out of college to be part of our team, to bring them into the fold. And I speak a lot on the topic of multi-generation knowledge transfer. I know we just recently collaborated on a blog post that features some commentary from you and your dad. And I love the video, by the way, in that blog post, the little family multi-generational fun. For our listeners here today, you should check out the video if you haven't seen it yet. It's really kind of fun. But there is a process that people have to think through. It's just kind of like, think about it, the first time your dad had you on a job site and he started telling you what to do. I don't know. I think maybe you were probably way younger than this, but I'm going to guess the first time you thought, why is he always telling me? We were probably about 16 or something like that. He's like, seriously, Dad, you got to tell me everything to do? Well, it's the same thing at work for people who don't know each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even worse to some extent, because there's no rapport, no relationship. So it's the accountability of the person that's leading a team. And I don't care if you're 4 people doing a home remodel, or if you're a contractor with 30 to 50 people on a team working on a big project. You're going to have multiple generations, and you have to tee it up for success. We just recently co-wrote a great article with the Holmes Group, and it's up on our blog post, and it focuses in on some tactical things that you can do to help that knowledge transfer between the generations.
Yeah, there is a large knowledge transfer, and there's, obviously ego is involved, and there's many different things that are involved. There's on the one side, it's like, I've been doing this for 20 years, 40 years, 50 years. And then on the other side, there's new technology, new tools, new ways to introduce to the trade. So there's 2 sides to it. And I think like you're saying, there's a lot to be learned about how to kind of meet in the middle.
Yep, absolutely. And the companies that figure that out are going to end up snatching all the talent, the younger talent that's coming up. And they respect that talent. They're going to see that they have a long career and long longevity of employing with just one employer. And that's
exactly
what wants to see, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and is that now a good place for people to learn more about VING or to find VING? Is that your blog?
Yeah, that's predominantly people are always searching the internet for ways to solve their problems, right? And so we get a lot of contractors, a lot of home builders, a lot of HVAC, roofing, you name it, searching on, the subject like, hey, how to train my new hires or my new apprentices, or how to engage my leadership team in the safety culture.
Right. Well, Tony, I know personally, I really enjoy working with VING. I love how you're taking it from this, big task and making it a much more manageable thing to learn more about safety training, product training. So I think, more people need to check out VING. And I encourage anyone watching this, go ahead to blog.vingapp.com and check them out and see what they have to offer, because you're not going to be disappointed.
Yep. Everybody's welcome. Please go and subscribe. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that candid conversation about job site safety with myself and Mike Holmes Jr. We did cover a lot of ground. Hopefully you were able to take some notes throughout and maybe key in on a few different areas that you can see some next steps in your organization, whether it's through the use of a new technology or storytelling, using images to kind of spark up a conversation and then reel them back in from silly to very serious, or tapping into your generations of experienced workers to do that knowledge transfer to that younger generation as they join you in your workforce at your company. The blog post that was mentioned a few times, I will go ahead and put that information into the chat. So if you want to, you can just click on the link inside the chat later or whenever, and it should take you right there. Well, that's the name of it. It didn't bring the link over for you, but if you just search on that, it'll just pop right up in your Google. But there's literally tons of research available at no charge to you on the VING resources page for ebooks, webinars, and blog posts. And a lot of it is guest writers from all over the country. They've been doing research in their particular areas, in their areas of focus. So it's not just about VING, it's all about everybody's different points of view on different things that you can do. And what I like about our focus is so much of our content is very, it's like a step-by-step approach. So it really breaks it down for you on the 5 things you can do or the 8 things you can do in a particular area. So head on over to vingapp.com, click on the blog resources, and you can search around in there until you find a topic that's of interest to you. I want to thank you very much, Sarah, for having me in today, and hopefully you found today's session entertaining.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Tony? Okay. Well, after the meeting, if you think of something, I do have Tony's contact information, so you can either shoot the question to me or just ask for his contact, and I would gladly pass that on. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you in April when we discuss women in safety. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a great and safe day and the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye. Have a great day.